Blueface doesn't seem active in the child's life because of his disability. My son does not have a disability. I got rid of his kids plenty of times before that.
Why can you give a child a lifelong ailment deliberately and it's all okay?
Supposedly, the child was showing signs of being impaired early and she ignored it. I hope you don't go to God to think that, okay, all right, God, forget what they're saying. You just give me a different result. Probably gonna forego some of the necessary treatments or rehab or whatever the kid's gonna need some shit.
Where you at, Berto?
Chrisean Rock is trying to gaslight the internet about her kid. We recently reacted to the Chrisean Rock situation with the newest interview, but I think there's gonna be some more updates in this one, so let's get right into it. Love y'all, appreciate y'all. Tap into the Twitch stream so you never miss a live stream reaction. That's Where You At Berto.
Where you at,
Join the
Berto?
Where You At family. Love y'all, appreciate y'all. Let's do the damn thing. YouTube disclaimer. This video is for commentary and discussion purposes only. All opinions are my own and mine and are based on public information. Nothing here is meant to be a personal attack or an accusation of illegal activity. Viewer discretion advised. YouTube, you see that? We don't want no problems.
Baby, no more. I'm getting a
Why? I don't believe in that.
This is the face, that's the lower lip, upper lip. You are 20 weeks pregnant.
Was it too late?
Yeah, it's too late.
He's just making it complicated for her because why tell me you want a baby? I got rid of his kids plenty of times before that. You feel me? I was ready to get rid of this one. He don't want it no more. Fuck it. All right. I don't want to have a baby no more. You're kids I'm a shit. Y'all want me to decide. Let me just get this and leave it alone.
So how come, why can you give a child a lifelong ailment deliberately and it's all okay?
So normally I stay out of two types of conversations on the internet where people are forced to give their opinions on somebody's relationship. I'm not parasocial FC enough for that. And then also when people are forced to give some sort of opinions on people's children. There are too many factors that go into it that make me not comfortable with doing it.
Yeah, same. You know, talking about another person's child, at the end of the day, that feels like nasty, nasty work. But when it comes to Chrisean Rock, we watched it, y'all. We watched it. From day one, this woman has literally stunted this baby's life before he even was born. He didn't even have a chance.
When I saw this clip of Chrisean Rock on a podcast, I had to say something.
Blueface doesn't seem active in the child's life because of his disability. My son does not have a disability. He is developing at his own pace and hitting his milestones in his own timing. Every child is different, and I'm confident in his growth. If I said it, he had a disability, then he...
Bro,
but it's
no
like,
accountability.
I ain't saying, not even just that. It's like, say if someone, a doctor, anybody speak against your kid or yourself, then you should not accept it, bro. Yeah, anybody, yeah. If they're guessing or whatever, no, the worst.
If the doctor says that you have cancer and you probably should get treatment right away, you should just ignore them because the doctor is hating on you. That doctor's a hater. That doctor wants you to take the L. So you should ignore the doctor. The doctor doesn't know you like you do. That's what this woman just got done trying to explain to us, bro.
Weirdo.
Said what the word said. God said what the God says.
If you're new to this channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. It goes a long, long way. Join this community. It's a pretty good one if I do say so myself. Now, back into the video. Whether it be the situation that happened when she was on Chrisean's stream.
Yeah, because this one little... Whoa, my bad, Chad.
Man, you put a hole in my wall.
You rich, you can fix it.
Whether it be the multiple fights that
entitlement
she has with her baby's father, Blueface, which we'll get to in a second, or whether it just be the general crash outedness on the internet, it's fair to say that Chrisean Rock has a very, very bad name. But as of late, I got skeptical about her. I had seen some different commentary about her wanting to turn her life around, especially now that she has a child in her life, and she is looking to grow bigger and better and greater than ever before.
So let's get to internet like Chopper. I text him. I said, speaking negatively over a child is serious in God's eyes. Scripture tells us life and death is over our tongue, the power of the tongue, and I won't allow harmful words to be spoken over my son. Please remove my child from your speech and keep him covered, not cursed. Do you have to spread hate because you think it's a way to celebrate? I've been there before. Be careful on speaking about children and people that's literally covered by Jesus. And I pray God heals you from the things you don't.
It's like, again, man, it's always a weird place. I salute anybody that wants to turn towards the Lord and give their life to Jesus and, you know, following the word. Man, salute to you. But what is just disgusting and is unforgivable is like when people are hypocrites. They only bring up the Lord so that they can try and use it as an excuse for their wrongdoing. Oh, I messed up, but I am a child of God, so he's going to forgive me, so I can continue to mess up, and it's no big deal. There's no accountability. All they do is just point the finger and say, well, you can't judge me because only God can judge. It's like, bro, that's just like, to me, that's like, I feel like that's blasphemy, bro.
Don't talk about.
And to be quite honest with you, that growth is something that is refreshing. I love to see people on the internet change their persona totally and try to go down a totally new path. Seems like Chrisean Rock has found some higher power and it is guiding her in a direction where she's not crashing out at any given moment. But I will say there may be some levels of religious psychosis that we're gonna have to unpack. But as I continue to watch this podcast, Chrisean Rock said something that is not only insane, but also very, very dangerous. It had something to do with her son and his perceived disabilities, whether it be by a community at large or medical clearing of said disabilities. Now, again, I don't necessarily have any sorts of commentary about parenting and opinions on people's kids and different things like that. Maybe 2 cents at best, but I know that there are so many factors and I would never want to be a part of people that label kids as different things, etc., etc. And we'll get to some specifics more about the child in general, but I think that when people saw Chrisean and Blueface's child off the initial, they had major, and I do mean major, concerns about his health, safety, and well-being. I stayed silent until this clip.
Blueface doesn't seem active in the child's life because of his disability. My son does not have a disability. He is developing at his own pace and hitting his milestone.
Wait, hold on. I know you guys usually skip this part of the video, but give me 1 second. I want to put you guys on real quick on a way to make some extra money that is 100% legit, and you can do it all from your phone. TesterUp is a platform that works with games to find new users just like you to test their games out. These apps and games are willing to pay new users to get on their platform because 9 times out of 10, they genuinely actually like playing the game. And the app in return ends up making money because you're playing the game that they paid you to play. I know that sounds a little bit too good to be true, but this is why I'm breaking it down for you so you understand the business behind it and how it works. TesterUp helps put money back in your pocket that these platforms are willing to pay for new users. So if you already like playing games on your phone, click the link in the description or use the QR code on the screen. You're gonna make a free account. It's completely free to do, and you can start making $10 to $20 off of games that you already love playing. This isn't a get rich quick scheme, so it's full transparency here, but if you're dedicated enough and you like playing games on your phone, there's people already making hundreds of dollars as well. Again, it's completely free to try. Use the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description. Check it out and make some extra cash. Said this in the last video, bro. Your son is 3 years old, he can't walk, he can't talk, and he can't even hold his body upright. And you're telling us that the doctor says that he has a disability, and you just refuse to believe it. You're just disregarding it entirely. That's ignorance, bro. That's ignorance and any lack of accountability. Mind you, when we have, like, I'm talking about several, countless 4K footage of you smoking, drinking, saying that you don't want the baby, you don't care about the baby, you'll just abort the baby, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna continue to smoke and drink. I think there was even a clip in the last video that I reacted to of this situation where Chrisean Rock out of her own mouth says, you know it's okay to smoke and drink with a baby. It's a myth. You can smoke and drink with your baby. That's what Chrisean Rock said, bro. Weirdo. So your baby now literally not being able to walk, talk, do nothing by the age of 3, and you sit here and say that your baby doesn't have a disability, that is just, it just proves everything that you just are in complete denial and have zero lack of accountability, bro.
In his own timing. Every child is different, and I'm confident in his growth. If I said it, he had a disability, then But it's like,
Now, up until this moment, I was probably on her side, especially because I don't know the child, but people putting disabilities, labels, and all these other things on kids, literally children, to me is weird. The way that we quarterback from the keyboard is a strange concept, and I don't necessarily get involved with it. I told you guys, I stay away from the relationships and the kid. But when she got to the point where she alludes to the fact that she has a medical diagnosis that she's ignoring, that's where the things fall off the rail.
not even just that. It's like, say if someone, a doctor, anybody speak against your kid or yourself, then you should not accept it.
You guys heard that? The I'm sorry, I'm laughing. But the fucking interviewer is like, wait, a doctor? Did you just say a doctor? Listen, you could literally hear the interviewer, bruh.
Diagnosis that she's ignoring, that's where the things fall off the rail.
Not even just that. It's like, say if someone, a doctor, anybody speak against your kid or yourself, then you should not accept it, bro. Anybody. If they're guessing or whatever, no. The word said what the word said. God said what the God says. I don't have to accept what you.
The word said what the word said. The God said what the God said. She's not even one of them people that can give you anything out of the Bible that the Lord said. Mind you, I'm not either. I'm not going to sit here and cap y'all down, though. I'm not Mr. Top of my brain reading off Bible verses type of individual. I not yet, at least. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to cap y'all down. But she just said that bullshit and expected us to believe it.
Weirdo.
The Lord said what the Lord said. The God said what the God said. What? You ain't said nothing.
It's really like me, like, protecting a revelation that I heard from the Lord over my son.
Yeah, that's not you protecting. That's you actively putting your child in harm's way. It's one thing to have Gary or Latricia, who work at the Amazon warehouse, speculate about what's going on with your child based off of a 13-second edited clip. It's a difference when a doctor who has access to blood work, who has access to the genetic makeup of the child, who has access to a bunch of different factual things about said child in front of them, making a conclusion based off of what they see. I'm no parent, but from my understanding, there are certain tests that people run, visual tests, that say if a child has some sort of disability, developmental delay, etc., etc. Let's say the list is about 20 things. The doctor says, hey, yeah, we see about 15 of these signs, but we still need to check to be sure. I think that that's a totally fair thing to challenge and be a little bit speculative of. Why? Because in the next month, in my experience, I've seen kids have 15 things go all the way down to having 1, 2, or maybe none of those signs. But if the doctor does say that there's something genetically wrong with your child, then something is genetically wrong with your child. And if you look at all the evidence as to how the child got here, you know, leading up to and then since the child has been born, I think it's pretty clear how people, specifically your doctor, has come to said conclusion. It's no secret that Chrisean Rock and Blueface have a toxic-filled environment.
That's why I was saying, I never really got to finish my season for real. I ended up getting locked up and shit. The bounty hunters came and got me.
Oh, you got locked up too?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you go for?
Warrants. Oh, Blueface snitched on me, talking about something. I stole his car.
Did you take his whip?
That was my shit.
Right, dude. Bro, that's not good, bro. Damn.
I don't want to show this.
And that stuff is all before the baby. Even to this day, Chrisean Rock and Blueface have a toxic relationship. Blueface coming to the internet publicly claiming that this baby is not his biological child. His father is actually deceased, and that the only reason why she's trying to continue on saying that this is his baby is to continue to have his name in some sort of negative light, you know, potentially reap some benefits of child support, etc., etc.
This is what I was trying to tell you on the last vid. You know, Blueface came out and said that's not his baby. Now, again, am I going to take Blueface word for it? I'm not so sure if I can. But we don't even know who the father is this child is, honestly.
Blueface is going even as far as to make rap songs calling Chrisean Jr. a dumb baby.
And then it's dumb bitch. If we have a baby, then it's probably going to be dumb bitch.
We try to keep a window open for like him being a dad, but it's like, well, we will come over so you could be a dad, but I really want to be so trusting that I could just drop him off. This is your kid. But it's like you over here making rap songs calling him a dumb baby, and then you talking about his hair. So now you cyberbullying our kid. He can't even defend himself.
Again, how they handle their relationship situation is totally between them. That's why I don't cover them on this channel. It's toxic, it's personal, and it's just plain messy. But what I will say is that during these back and forths, Blueface's mother came out to the internet and gave a very interesting revelation. She claimed in an Instagram story that 5 months into the pregnancy, Chrisean and Blueface were made aware that Chrisean Jr., the baby in question, would have some sort of of disabilities, which at this point attributes back to what I was saying earlier, where we're not talking about speculative, okay, this person is learning at a later or slower pace than another person. These are definitive chromosome, genome, genetic, DNA type issues that are going on here. And again, I'm no doctor, but if you saw the way that she carried her pregnancy, then I think it would make a lot of sense as to how these things could be some sort of conclusion today.
He's just making a...
Mind you, that's just 3 random clips. Her drinking, smoking, belly big as hell, about to pop. You know what I'm saying? Because she got a baby in it. Bro, she did not care, gang.
Complicated for her because, why tell me you want a baby? This him saying, have my baby be my family. I'm like, yeah, all right, okay. I'm not saying it because of the money. I'm not saying it because it's none of that. I got rid of his kids plenty of times before that. You feel me? I was ready to get rid of this one. He don't want it no more. Fuck it, all right? I went there and seen that shit face, the heartbeat, that shit like ate me alive. I'm like, I was hurt a couple times when I got those abortions, but this never hurt me this time. Like,
This is the face, that's the lower lip, upper lip. You are 20 weeks pregnant.
was it too late?
Yeah, it's too late.
Although there was an initial excitement about a baby to be had because Chrisean and Blueface ultimately planned this pregnancy, that quickly shifted into Chrisean saying that she wanted to get rid of it. She no longer wanted to have the baby. She started to come to some sorts of realization about the toxicity in the relationship. She wanted it to no longer exist. But ultimately, there were family members that were in front of her.
I feel so bad for this baby, bro, because again, obviously the baby has a disability, but let's pray and hope that the baby, you know, develops and, you know, starts to get back on track. Then he has to go the rest of his life looking at like the history behind this shit, bro. Because the internet is forever. It was all documented. There's 4K footage of Chrisean Rock saying that, bro, I don't care about this baby. I want to abort this baby. I'll just she literally said, I'll just end the baby. Like, bro. Oh man. Like, literally prayers for this child, bro. Literally, because I don't know what to expect, but we can only hope for the best, man.
That persuaded her and stopped her from getting said aberration.
I don't have a baby no more. I'm getting a
Why? I don't believe in that.
Well, give it to me. Hell no.
I don't believe that. And I had 12.
I don't want to have a baby no more. Y'all keep saying this other shit. Y'all want me to decide. Let me just get this and leave it alone. My emotions. I love you. You're my sister. You're strong enough for this. I can have a baby in a happy relationship. I can have a child. You can. When I'm cool. I'm not cool right now.
In case you didn't know, I am a your body, your choice type of person. But ultimately, none of these things would matter in the grand scheme of it, specifically from the perspective of me formulating some sort of an opinion. Again, complex family dynamic. I'm not getting in between that. But what will precede her not being able to get said aberration would be disgusting. Since the family would not give her the blessing of going on and handling the situation how she saw fit, Chrisean Rock decided to take things into her own hand. She wasn't going to change her lifestyle. Not for a bump, not for a lump, and not for a baby that was on the way.
Because we all was drinking, even you, with the baby and stuff. Why are you lying?
Look at this, y'all.
Weirdo.
Get yourself together.
Where the bottle at? Oh my gosh. She asked for another bottle. I'm just gonna...
You can't liquor?
Yes, I can. I can abort the child tomorrow. It won't hurt me.
Weirdo.
When they were here last time, him and Chrisean was pregnant. Y'all were doing all that smoking and drinking here in the thing.
Weirdo.
She's double cupping.
On camera multiple times with multiple people, and nobody's innocent in this situation. In one of those videos, I do see Blueface in the club with her. I do see people saying that they were doing interviews with her, basically enabling the behavior because they were crashing out in real time. And the views were hitting, but what would to come is reality. Now, granted, addiction is real. I'm not putting that past anybody, but that does not mean that people should have had Chrisean and Blueface on their platform knowing that she was pregnant and drinking and smoking while in their presence. presence. It's kind of disgusting. This is why the internet formulated the opinions that they had on how they would take care of the baby, how they would handle him once he was born, and the concerns started pouring in. The microscope got bigger and everybody decided that they were gonna psychoanalyze the situation. We see things like Chrisean update pages pop up following the baby and any glimpses that they could get of it, making these conclusions, making these statements, saying that, yo, there's something wrong with this child. And for what it's worth, people were justified in their deduction as to how they were handling this child and the outcomes that were gonna happen. The way that they were handling this baby was absolutely disgusting.
It's like throwing a baby in water, you gotta swim, like, you know what I mean? Figure it out.
Let's get the battle.
Gosh, bro.
The internet tried to intervene. Chrisean's update page, which sounds the most like insane thing in the world, would call CPS, and I'm assuming others would as well. But due to whatever bureaucratic legal system that we had, nobody stepped in, and she knew that.
You want to keep calling CPS or the police? I don't care. Keep calling them. Call.
But so now we sit here today where Chrisean Rock is on a platform saying that her son doesn't have a disability, and no one can tell her different. Not the people who watched her crash out for the past couple of years, not for the people that watched her literally drink and smoke and consume other drugs while being pregnant, and not even by the doctor who told her months in advance of her having the baby, while living in a state that had a lengthy timetable for when you can and cannot get rid of a baby. What makes this situation even worse is that we're not just talking about how the baby was treated and handled while she was pregnant. There'd probably be some grace afforded to her if, you know, once the baby popped up in her hands, she instantly flipped script and now she was being mommy of the year. The reality of the situation is that she is still handling this child and her lifestyle in a terrible, terrible way. Just last September, Chrisean Rock had to face police and CPS because her and her boyfriend Bino trashed a hotel room, leaving behind empty liquor bottles and whippet cans. The reason why CPS had to be involved is because Chrisean Jr., the baby in question, the one that people are waiting to sit up and walk and do all these other things, was in her custody and in her care. And if you're thinking that would be the straw that stirs the drink as far as getting that baby out of that situation, well, you would be dead wrong. Because for what it's worth, Chrisean Rock still has custody of said child, even though there are continuous, and I do mean continuous, dangerous
I ain't gonna lie, what you just said makes some sense, but I just don't know what the solution is. But parents' license probably would be a W move for life. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know how it could be enforced, but genuinely, not everybody deserves kids, bro. Like, there's way too many people that just don't care just having kids. It's sad.
Environments in which this baby is set up in. And the only thing that fills the air in this conversation at this point is just sadness. Not just from me, but from people around.
If you cause a harm to somebody that will cause them a disability, you get sued to fucking death, you go to jail, right? So why can you give a child a lifelong ailment deliberately and it's all okay?
Rejecting the word of science and medicine when it clearly and literally verbatim says, hey, listen, supposedly the child was showing signs of being impaired early and she ignored it. I hope you don't go to God to think that, okay, all right, God, forget what they're saying. You just give me a different result. I think that's sad because if that's the way you're going to take things, you're probably going to forego some of the necessary treatments or rehab or whatever the kid's going to need some shit.
Earlier, I made the claim that Chrisean Rock was in some sort of religious psychosis. And I want to put something in front of that before I make that claim, because I do still believe it to be true. But something that DJ Academic said actually resonated with me. And maybe I can introduce a level of human into this conversation. Yes, Chrisean is an addict, and I do believe that she is doing terrible things, not only to the child, but herself. But ultimately, she seems to be a parent nonetheless. And this is somebody who wants an answer. They have a problem they want it solved. They need an answer to their question. And they're still holding out on hope. It's straight up denial. And being in the conversations with parents who have children who have disabilities, I understand that this is a part of the journey that does go on. She just so happens to be going through it in public. She's turned away from the communal warning signs and then sought medical help and attention. And when they didn't give her the answers that she wanted, she's turned away from the communal warnings and signs. And after that, she went to the medical side of things. And when they didn't give her the answers that she wanted or desired about her child, she is now turned to religion to give her some sort of comfort or some sort of, answer.
But and again, it's like I want to clap and applaud her for that, but it's just like when people go to religion for literally just an excuse or a cop-out for their wrongdoing. Here's the thing, man. As much as I believe in God, as much as I trust in God, I don't expect God to literally just make things happen out of thin air. I think God puts us in position to have opportunities to make the right decision. You know what I mean? And sometimes we fall short on those opportunities, and there'll be others. But that doesn't mean when we fall short, there's not consequences for our actions. And some people just want to continue to ignore the consequences as if just because, you know, God is in the mix. It's like, that's just not how this shit works.
In the question. And I guess only until all of the answers line up and reveal that she is the problem, Chrisean Rock will still be living the same life that she continues and wants to live. And at the end of the day, the only one that's going to suffer is the baby. The baby is suffering because there seems to be a continued pattern of addiction and abuse that they have to live in that ultimately will plague them for the rest of their natural born lives.
Y'all let me know what y'all think about this one, man. At the end of the day, like I said last time, you know, I'm hoping Chrisean can figure it out. Obviously, she's a mess. Obviously, this whole situation's a mess. But she is also the only one that can make a difference and, you know, potentially get this kid as much help as he needs. So at this point, I'm actually rooting for her. I'm rooting for her in the sense that, bro, she's this only child's hope because there's literally nobody else that can make a difference for this child. But y'all know what y'all think in the comment section. Love y'all, appreciate y'all. My name's Berto. Where you at, family? Join the Twitch stream so you never miss a live reaction.
Where you at, Berto? I made this shit look too easy.